At 6, local education leaders are raising concerns about President Donald Trump's plan to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education. I'm Angelo Bavaro live in Hartford with where that plan stands this morning and the potential impacts here in Connecticut.
A nationwide data breach has compromised the personal information of millions of people here in Connecticut. I'm Kaylee Collins, and coming up, I'll tell you where it happened and what you can do to protect your information if you fell victim.
It's been 2 years since a crash killed a teenager and his grandfather on the way to his hockey practice. Now in court, the family sees the man who was allegedly behind the wheel once again. I'm Jamel Johnson, and coming up on Fox 61, all the details from the case.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good Wednesday morning. Thanks so much for joining us here at Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus, America Arias.
Welcome back, Erica.
Thank you.
And I'm Symphony Privet. We hope you're having a great start to your Wednesday so far. Let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Matt Scott.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, I'm back.
I got you.
With a new hip.
We'll talk about that throughout the morning. Hey, I got you a storm for your welcoming back.
You're so thoughtful.
I'm a giver. Good morning. Here's what you need to know before you go. Back to winter today. Temperatures noticeably colder. Messy Thursday on tap with a mix of snow and rain, maybe even a little glaze of ice in there too. And it's an active weather pattern emerging. Winter weather advisory up for the state. That is tomorrow morning through 1 o'clock. It's not a long lasting storm, but I don't love the timing. It affects the morning rush, which in turn affects the evening rush. Cloud and radar pictures quiet out there with the temperatures. Yeah, they're cold. 22 in Hartford, 26 in New Haven, 23 in Groton. You're thinking, well, that's not cold. Well, factor in winds, still a little bite to them, 5 to 15 miles an hour with wind gusts going up to 21. You put it all together, it feels like 6 in Torrington, 9 in Hartford and Chester, a balmy 17 in New Haven right now. School bus forecast temperatures only getting into the lower 30s later on today amidst a lot of sunshine and a breeze that isn't necessarily dying down anytime soon. We'll time out the mess for tomorrow, have a look at the incoming weekend, which may have another incoming mess. Details on that in a bit. 6:02, let's go to the roads right now. Symphony's going to take care of that this hour.
Alrighty, thank you, Matt. Taking a look at our statewide map, we see a lot of green, which means things are flowing just fine so far. Let's take a look out in Middletown this morning as we are checking out Route 9. We see a bit of volume picking up out there, checking out a lot of headlights on the roads this morning, but things are moving smoothly so far. We've got your next update in about 15 minutes.
Well, this morning, the local education leaders are raising concerns over reports the Trump administration is working to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education.
According to the Associated Press, an executive order is in preparation by the White House that would direct the chief of education to start winding down the agency and urge Congress to pass a measure abolishing it. Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro joins us live outside Hartford Public High School with the latest. Angelo.
Hey, good morning, guys. And the Connecticut Education Association is calling that planned executive order by Trump and another order that the president recently signed that expands school choice a direct attack on students, public schools, and communities across this country. Now, this all comes as really no surprise. President Trump did campaign on this issue, and now he is wasting no time taking these steps to achieve his goal. He's currently directing his administration to slash spending while pressuring employees to quit. However, his power is limited as shutting down the U.S. Department of Education would require an act of Congress. The president was asked yesterday why he would appoint Secretary of Education Linda McMahon if he does want to ultimately get rid of the department. Take a listen.
Because I told Linda, I hope you do a great job and put yourself out of a job. I want her to put herself out of a job, education department. So we're ranked number 40 out of 40 schools, right? We're ranked number 1 in cost per pupil. So we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. And we're ranked at the bottom of the list. We're ranked very badly. And what I want to do is let the states run schools. I believe strongly in school choice.
Now, Connecticut Education Association President Kate Diaz sees things very differently. In a statement, she wrote, quote, eliminating the U.S. Department of Education would strip away critical federal funding and oversight that protects students' rights, supports special education services, and help our most vulnerable children succeed, all while further deepening education inequities. Now, some more background here regarding the federal role in education. Lots of questions about that this morning. Education in this country is primarily a state and local responsibility. According to the U.S. Department of Education website, about 92% of funds for elementary and secondary education come from non-federal sources. The federal government contributes about 8%. And that includes funds from other federal agencies like the Department of Health and Human Services Head Start program and the Department of Agriculture's school lunch program. Now, the big question is how far President Trump can go on his own in achieving this goal of dismantling the U.S. Department of Education without Congress. Again, that authorization from Congress to get rid of this department. Some of the department's most significant programs are required by federal legislation. That includes Title I funding for low-income schools and also federal student loans. Reporting in the capital city this morning, I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61.
Alrighty, thank you, Angelo. We'll check in with you later on this morning. 6:06 now. The Region 15 Board of Education says it will meet tonight to discuss a performance matter with the school superintendent. According to an agenda posted online on the school board's website, the majority of that meeting will be held in executive session. It also says Superintendent Josh Smith and an attorney were invited. Now, Smith is accused of driving under the influence. Police charged Smith in connection with a crash on Mulberry Street in Southington last month. No one was hurt. Parents spoke about Smith's arrest at Monday's Board of Education meeting. And while some expressed frustration, others asked for compassion for Smith. Some questioned why it took the district 2 weeks to issue a public statement.
6:06, and now to a consumer alert for you here. Community Health Center says a recent data breach may have compromised the patient personal information of up to 1 million people. The center sent out a notification about the breach just last week. Fox 61's Kaylee Collins is live right outside the clinic in Meriden this morning with the suggested security measures that you can take if you've been impacted by this breach. Kaylee, good morning.
Erica, good morning to you and welcome back. As far as that breach goes, as we know, it was a national breach, but it is primarily affecting patients here in Connecticut. And the center says they noticed this breach in early January. They were able to bring in some computer experts who were able to limit the access to the hacker or hackers within a couple of hours, but that still gave those cyber criminals enough time to access patient information. That includes things like their social security number, other patient and medical records, your name, address, email, all that personal information that, of course, you want to keep confidential. So if you were potentially impacted by this breach, there are a couple of suggestions for actions you can take to protect yourself moving forward. Cybersecurity experts suggest that you request copies of the data that might have been compromised through the center and, of course, review your financial records to check for any suspicious activity. It's also not a bad idea to change your passwords often and take advantage of credit monitoring services as well. The center is offering some of that for free to those who were impacted. They're also offering free identity theft protection for those who provided their social security numbers, and we have information on how to access that on our website. Again, this breach may have included patient information for those who had gotten a COVID test or vaccine through the center, and also people who just get regular care here as well. The CHC says that it hasn't seen info being misused at this point, but they're still taking precautions to protect their cybersecurity moving forward. Again, we have information on steps you can take if you believe that you may have been part of this breach, available at fox61.com. We're live in Meriden this morning. Kaylee Collins, Fox 61.
Now, the man charged in the deaths of a grandfather and grandson appeared in a crash. Appeared in court. Glenn Reagan was stood before a judge yesterday, and Fox 61's Jamel Johnson has that story from Torrington.
It's been 2 years since Marcus Rogers and William O'Leary were in a car crash that cost them their lives. And after 2 years, the family is still grieving like it happened yesterday. Glenn Reagan appeared in court again 2 years after he allegedly passed a box truck before crashing into a teenager and his grandfather, killing them. His defense attorney, Darnell Crossland, had one goal: to continue the case at a later date in hopes of a lesser sentence. In Crossland's preliminary statement, he says he hopes the case can be resolved to, at best, a misconduct with a motor vehicle charge. Despite a sex crime on his criminal record, Crossland says that he believes the crash to be an isolated incident for Reagan, citing Reagan's lack of alcohol and substance use. The victim's family declined to speak after the hearing, but their attorney, Pat Cooney, commented on their behalf.
No matter how well-intended you are, accidents do happen. So we're looking to see what happened. We're hoping to avoid it, but we're definitely not looking to put a young kid in jail for 40 years based on an accident.
The anniversary, 2-year anniversary, was last Friday, so it's really an emotional case. It's an emotional case for the families, and it's really just a matter of keeping the focus on the young man and his grandfather who passed away in this.
Reagan's defense team was granted a continuance of the case, and the next court date is set for April 22nd. Attorney Crossland said during that time they'll analyze the accident reconstruction report as well as any other reports that are vital to this case. In Torrington, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
And developing overnight, at least one person is dead and 5 others were hurt in a shooting at a cosmetics warehouse in New Albany, Ohio. Authorities say everyone who was shot was taken to the hospital. It's believed the suspected shooter left the scene. There's no word on where he could be at this hour. Authorities say this was a targeted attack. A man who lived nearby says he's scared.
It's really scary, to be honest with you. The fact that something to this scale and to this level of urgency can happen right down the street is crazy.
At this point, officers do not know what motivated the shooting.